Okay, welcome. I am here today for Creative Sync and Set, which is basically a little bit of creative intention setting and a little bit of a coffee chat. I want to share with you a bit about this content challenge that I'm doing. I want to preface this with I'm live on Instagram and I'm also live on Circle in my community, the Creative Act Collective, which I will absolutely share about in a few minutes, but I'm just letting you all know that that's the situation. So if I'm looking at a few different places, I'm trying to manage this. I actually wanted to go live on Instagram as well because this started as a public challenge. So I felt like it would be not like disingenuous, but I wanted it to be a space where we could talk about this creative journey that I'm going on and I'm taking you on, as well as set some intentions for it. And for that to only be in the private group would just kind of defeat the purpose, right? Because it started out public. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get into a little bit of the background of this. So if you haven't watched any of the videos yet, or you either know me just personally, or you know me from a couple of videos, just want to let you know this live is unscripted. I'm not reading off of anything. I just have my outline here just so I'm not too off tangent. So just forgive me if I'm jumping around a little bit, but the structure of this is I want to talk about kind of the intention in general behind this entire content challenge. I want to get into how you can get involved, like what is, the Creative Act Collective, all of that. And then get into some intention setting. So that can be both the group intention setting and also personal intention setting for this particular period. And if you're somebody who's like, I don't know if I want to get involved or not, just follow along because this is an interesting journey for anyone to kind of witness, whether they create on it or not. It's interesting to see someone's process. And of course you can jump in at any time. And then also just as you set intentions, through the end of the year, which is kind of what I'm doing here, this can be maybe, spark some ideas for, deepening your creative process over the next few months. So I'll go ahead, dive in a little bit. So if you're watching this, you're likely, either live or you're watching a replay of it. So that's on Circle. I may or may not repost the Instagram version. I just need to see kind of how it turns out and how I feel like it speaks to public versus private community. But regardless, I'm still going to go through it in a very similar manner because the larger intention is the same. So why is this even happening? Like, what is this? If you're here and you're like, Jordan, I didn't even know about this. Like you were like saying you're reading a book and now you have an entire content challenge and community around it. What is this? So let me set the stage. I had a book in my to be read, like many of you have probably right now. You have something in your to be read, Amazon cart, whatever that might be. And that was the Creative Act for me. So that had been sitting in my to be read list, just, in that kind of graveyard there. And I was lucky enough, as I was walking through the Boston airport coming home, I saw it on a shelf and I was like, that's on my to be read list. It's a very aesthetic book here. Wanted to pick it up and see if maybe I could read a little bit on the way home. So I picked it up. Didn't get to read on the way home because I have a tiny baby and I'm on a plane. But as I opened it up when I got home, I saw that it was an essay format. And I was like, this is amazing. I want to dig into this, create some sort of a little devotional for myself so that I can journal or create content around it. This is awesome. It reminded me of the Daily Stoic or Tools of Titans, Tim Ferriss's book. There are a few others that have that sort of a setup to it. So what I loved about it is that it had a bunch of essays that I could use as prompts. So at first I was like, let me just use this as a devotional, a space to maybe create some videos or write. I don't want to have to search for that inspiration. I can just get it from here, right? I can take pieces of it and then just create on my own. And then it kind of got to this next level of why don't I make this into a content challenge for myself? Where would I like to create? Okay, so I'd like to be on video more, right? I want to create for YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, but I want to show my face more. I want to get back on camera. I'm going to use this as, a bit of a devotional, but also a content challenge to create videos. Okay, cool, easy. Then from there, I was like, well, how can I make a little bit more impact in this creative process? Well, I guess I can, of course, share the content, but then maybe put some prompts in there so people can reply, respond, use this as a companion. And it kind of just kept building on there to say, okay, let's do a public challenge. Why not? It's kind of build in public. You get to watch me build kind of a companion for this book. Watch me work on my videos while maybe, someone else might work on their writing, or they may work on, building their audience on a different channel and use this as a prompt. For me, it was going to be video. So let me work on it. Let me show you my process. And then, you can take what you want from that, either learn about what I'm doing, or you can take these prompts and create yourself. So if I could inspire someone to create on these topics, they're very general, very philosophical, very topical for people who are creatives. Why not do it? So that kind of went into motion. I posted that. And then a few people were asking me, hey, is there a group that I can join? And I said, okay, let's figure it out. I belong to Circle, so that's where you can build communities. It's an awesome tool. I can always share more information on that, but I wanted to deepen my community there. I basically have a lot of really great information from Everyday Innovation, which is my newsletter, podcast. I create other resources there, but I wanted to have a space that was a more intentional community. So not exactly a cohort, maybe an asynchronous cohort. So let's try it out. Another place to experiment. So all of this really is an experimentation process for myself, for you, for anyone who wants to join in. And you can join in on any level, right? So if you just watch this content, give me a like, that's amazing. I love that. I'm on my own journey. I love support like anybody else, right? If you want to create around it too, that's even more amazing, because I get to look at what you're doing and you get to share it. You don't have to think about what to create. You can just create in response if you'd like. That's kind of what we're doing anyway, right? We're looking around the world, we're responding to things, we're responding to people, to events, to sensory data, whatever that might be. So you get to do that too. And I'm honored to be able to provide some sort of a prompt for that. So you can create publicly, privately, wherever you'd like. But then I also open this community space too. So if you want to take it to the next level, I usually put a little bit more detail with the posts. I'm building them out so it'll be nice and organized. There's a little group chat. We have about 10 people in there right now, which is pretty cool. I'm hoping that it grows, but I'm just thrilled to share the space with anyone who wants to join. So if you want to get in there, there's a few different areas. There's an area where you can chat. There's an area where you can create yourself. So let's say you are on that train of, I want to write on these topics, or I want to create a video on these topics, but I'm not really thrilled about posting it in a public space, or I don't have for my personal brand, I don't know if it aligns with that yet. I just want to be a little bit freer. You're welcome to post it, where we are in the Circle group. So that's a link in bio situation. You can also DM me if you have any questions about it. But that's a space where you can create. You can create amongst other people, and you don't have to do it publicly, or you can create publicly. Go on YouTube, go on Twitter, or X rather, go on Threads. Hi, Brand Orchestrate. Amin, how are you? Someone who is part of the community, please check them out. They're always creating phenomenal content on personal branding. So back to this, you can create in any way that you would like. This is an experiment. So the biggest intention that I want to set for this larger group is that we focus on our creative process through the end of 2023 going into 2024. Why is it important? Because as much as people say that it's not about necessarily strategy, it's the style in which you show up. It's not about the thing that you create, right? It's how you learn about yourself in the process, how you show up. A lot of what's unique about you is not necessarily the things that you create, but in the way that you create. That's why people can kind of take their skills in all different areas of life. They're a musician, but then they start to write, and there's something about them that you pick up on, and it is the style in which they bring things from idea to impact, We're always a part of this process. I actually posted a little bit on that today because it's part of the first essay. Everyone is a creator. So really the general intention here is for us to focus on our creative process and to share a bit about it. So one part of the group that I didn't share yet is that there's a resources section too. So let's say you are going through your process and you realize, okay, there's this tool that helps me. I literally shared yesterday about a way that I use AI through voice notes. And if I hadn't shared that, there were a few people who went and put it into practice right away. And it's amazing what we can do as we start to like work through what works for us and share that with other people. It's incredible. The tools that people can find, right, for video editing, captions, anything. So that is another space where you can post that. And or if you're on, if you're on social and you're like, I don't necessarily want to create on that topic. I want to create on something that you said during it, or I actually just thought of this other idea, or as I was creating and journaling on it, I started to use this and I want to share that practice. Please do that. Please create on that, because again, that's that inspiration. That's that response. That's so beautiful and so needed. And that's really the goal of this larger group. So then on top of that, I want you to kind of think about setting an intention for yourself, right? For whether you're doing this or not, whether you're just in my space right now, I'm creating, doing my thing, you're doing your thing. If you're thinking about the general creative process, what is it that you want to accomplish personally in this creative realm through the rest of 2023? Let's just use that time frame for now. What is that? What do you want to learn about yourself? What do you want to deepen? Is it, your systems, right? Or is it your systems? Is it inviting more flow? Is it, finding more of your voice? Whatever that might be, think on that for yourself and set that intention. And I'll give you the structure, the larger structure of honoring your creative process, because that is something where you're taking something from an idea to impact. Maybe it is in the communication, maybe it's in the ideation space, whatever that might be. Set that intention for yourself and just see what happens when you look at the world and you look at your creative process and start to say, hey, I'm using my creative process in all these different areas, not just work. I'm using it in the way that I plan an event for my friend's birthday. I'm using it in the way that I get dressed in the morning. I use it in the way that I express myself in this space. Just take that and start to notice what works and what doesn't work for you. And I promise it will change your life. I'm obsessed with the creative process. I'm obsessed with the innovation process, which kind of takes the creative process to the next level of really creating impact through that creator entrepreneur space. So if you have questions about that, I'm always here. If you join in the group and you're working on something that is in that, I would say, creator entrepreneur venture space, I am here to advise in that as well. So as you think about your intentions, I want to do something fun. So if you live in Los Angeles, you probably know what this is. This is an intention candle from House of Intuition. I think Fabiola might be here. She knows. She's also in the collective, amazing coach. So I'm going to light this. This is on creativity, of course, because that is the theme, honoring your creative process, the group, for any of your personal stuff. So I'm going to light it for us, right? So let's take this moment. So if you have something at home, like a fun, if you have a candle, if you have like a little journal that you want to use to go through some of these prompts, if you have something special that you can put in your office while you do it, just do it. And that's all you got to do. If you just want to put your hand on your heart and give, your commitment to honoring your creative process through the end of 2023, you can do that as well. This is a space for you to be creative, to be expressed, and I'm really looking forward to your journey. I hope that you can join me in the Creative Act Collective link in bio, but if not, I want to see you publicly. I want to see you create, or even if you just leave me a message or send me a DM if something speaks to you. This is not meant to go at the same pace that I am. I'm probably going to be a little bit aggressive with my pace just because I would love to finish as much as I can by the end of the year. That's my goal. If I need to adjust that to go a little bit into 2024, that's great. remember, it's 78 pieces of content. So I'm going to do my best as a new mom, but I want to keep a more aggressive pace for myself so that I am putting those prompts out for others to create around. But yeah, that's pretty much the whole deal here. I'm excited to see a few of you here. That makes me so happy. Anything else that I can add to it? We talked about, so just going over the parts of the community again, if you're interested, there's the idea exchange, which is a chat section. There's the 78 areas of thought, which is the companion guide. So I'm building that as I go. So if you're interested in hosting a book club or a community that has that cohort feel or has some posts along the way, you can also feel free to join and learn a little bit about that too. This is also kind of a little, I guess, circle tutorial in a way because I'm working in there. It's an experiment. There's the community atelier piece, which is a communal space where you can create and do your expressions there or repost something. So let's say you decide to do YouTube videos, you want to post it in there. Absolutely the best place to do that. And I will be featuring some people in a newsletter, probably a couple of newsletters, just because I want to make sure that you get that exposure with your permission, of course. There's a resources section, which is any of the tools, books, practices, insights that you get from working on your creative process as we do this together. I'm going to be sharing some things in there, but I also open it up to the community to share there as well. And then of course the event section. So Creative Sync and Set was there. So we're on Instagram and also in this circle community right now, streaming that. There will be other things in the future. Some may be a mix of private and public. Some may just be in the private group. So just to be aware that, that all the events will be on that page. So that's pretty much it. If you have any questions, please feel free to DM me. The 78 posts, you'll be seeing them over the next several weeks. You can just follow along on Instagram or whatever platform you really enjoy. So TikTok or also on YouTube, because I will be posting videos there, of course. And then if you want to join the Creative Act Collective, you can just click the link in my bio. There's a specific and direct invite link. It's not one that you can join publicly, so just make sure to go through my profile for that. And yeah, thank you for setting intentions with me today. Here's the creativity candle, and yeah, let's do this through the end of 2023 into 2024. Let's work on our creative process. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I look forward to see what you create. So here's the book one last time. The Creative Act, A Way of Being. It is linked in my group, and you can also just find it on Amazon. So it's by Rick Rubin. Thank you. Thank you for holding space with me today.